What is going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel and today's video where we're going to be addressing the very big issue the Tundra is having right now of having a massive rupture in the current radiator, which we thought was a new-ish radiator. Apparently not, or it just was a bad replacement that just was weak. But there's an extra thing that we're going to be doing while replacing the radiator today, and it's hopefully going to be in the title to help other people. And that's going to be bypassing the radiator's trans warmer slash cooler section. So I rarely see this in videos. Most people just hook up the radiator exactly how it was. But there was an issue with these cars, or just in general with the way this design is. Having the trans fluid run through your radiator isn't always a good idea, and us being in a warmer climate, it might warrant us being able to do this mod without much issue. We'll get into that when we get to it, but for now I just need to get to the general teardown of the radiator. I just want to see what I'm working with, see if anything breaks right off the bat before we go to the parts store and get the new unit. So let's get to it. Alright, so what's happening here is this is actually transmission fluid lines here coming from your transmission. It comes through this hose here. The transmission fluid goes through your radiator. It comes out your radiator to your transmission oil cooler. So it goes up there, wraps around your oil cooler, comes back down and back into your transmission. What this does in cold climates on startup is the radiator fluid is going to help warm up your transmission. There is an argument that it would help with cooling once you are up to temperature and you're on the highway and stuff, but my argument and some people's argument is this is very sketchy. Having the radiator fluid, you know, be surrounding your transmission fluid and having it in an area that you can't service. And there's a high likelihood of, or not a high likelihood, but there are cases where this intercooler breaks down, your radiator gets mixed with transmission fluid, radiator fluid, everything. All these lines get connected then. They're all running the same fluid now, the same milkshake. And that milkshake will literally ruin your transmission. What we're gonna do is the line that comes from the radiator that goes to the oil cooler, we're gonna reroute this line so that it's getting fed directly from the transmission. So the transmission will go from transmission to the oil cooler directly, so from here to here. This, we're gonna actually just move this to here to plug it. So this will be plugged entirely. And that's all you really need to do. You don't need to change your other line because that's already hooked up to your transmission oil cooler. So I think this is a good setup for people in the climate who can do this. If you live in a cold climate, I don't suggest you do this because this is very important so that you don't go out on the road and totally like break your transmission like it's glass because it's frigid. This is important in those climates, but for us not so much. Like today is January, what, it's like early January. It's already like 80 degrees, maybe, no, it's like 85 right now easily, and it's like 9 in the morning. So this is what a Florida winter looks like, and yeah, it's not too cold. Really shouldn't be that much fluid because I did drain it last night just to be a environmentally conscious person. right, guys, radiator secured. It literally barely fits in the FRS, like barely squeezed by. All right, guys, it is officially time to get messy. Once again, let me show you the routing of how this works. So from transmission to the in here, which goes to your radiator, goes through your little radiator cooler, out to the oil cooler back there. Then from the oil cooler back, it's right here, to the transmission. So this line we don't have to change, but what we do need to change is where the oil cooler gets its oil from. So now it's gonna get it straight from the transmission when it used to get it right from the radiator here. This is aimed right at my face, so that's great.
One eternity later.
Fuck. Alright, let me reset. So of course with cars, you know how it goes. Everything goes wrong. You read a form and you're wrong. What I could do potentially is like steal this hose. Yeah, let's just remove this hose entirely. This we can relocate to here. And then the new radiator actually comes with plugs already on here. I think that's the best. That's got to be longer. Let me measure and make sure. 9 plus 6. It's a 15-inch hose versus 2 inches. 6. Yeah, that's much longer. Yeah, that's way more than enough. Okay, that's in there. That's a much better routing. Yeah, I prefer that than having that shorter line kinked. I think this will fare well. I think we're ready now. We can take the radiator completely out. Totally missed the pan. Like I mentioned, this already has plugs for it, so I'm just gonna keep it like that. That's the right alignment. Cool. I don't like that. That's not lining up. Yeah, that shit, that clip is like broken. You know what the best solution for this is? Tell me that ain't solid. Truck, by the way. That is gonna be it for this one, guys. I am very, very happy. I mean, last night sucked, obviously, finding out that the radiator was indeed broken, even from the beginning. Definitely not the guy I bought from, definitely not his fault, and definitely a little bit of my fault, but I don't think either of us would have caught it. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but there was enough fluid in it to not be spewing everywhere, and also enough for it not to overheat. So it was like the perfect storm of just enough fluid, I think, going through the engine, and then you wouldn't ever notice the leak unless you topped it off. So topping it off really showed it last night, and yeah, I'm glad we got it figured out, rectified, and now it's a working, driving car, and it's not overheating. We're looking all right. So I'm stoked. We're gonna be moving on to the next thing as soon as we can on this car, which is repairing this wiring. That's probably not gonna be a video on its own. I think I'm gonna wait till I get the head unit and all that, but I will fix this on the side in the meantime, get all these wires back connected with one another, and then we shall move on from there with the Tundra. But we got some parts coming from the FRS very shortly, so we're gonna be working on that and preparing for our first drift event of the year, which will be at the end of January. It's either we're going to OSW or PBIR or both. Definitely PBIR no matter what, but we'll get there when we get there. So that's gonna be it for this one. Really hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.